Good morning, friends. Ndiyathemba niphilile ngegama lenkosi yethu uYesu Kristu inkosi yethu. Amen. Ndikwindawo apha eTraxemhlanga eLady Frey. Ndize emngcwabeni. I have driven 125 kilometers from where I stay, and it has taken me about 2 hours to get here. One, because of the weather, and two, because of the road. A bulk of it here is gravel, of course, and so as we were driving down, ndihamba nexhego lam apha uTata Phaliso and ibonisa ke indlela. But as we were driving from Queenstown to here, we went past Dordrecht, and so as we were driving, we encountered snowfall. Okay, so kuyabanda amaqondo asezantsi. I think we are below zero because there's a snow. Esiwayo, it's terribly cold. It's telemotweni, it's like the heater, sitshisa fuel. We can't afford to switch it off, yet we can't afford to keep it running because of ixesha. But I'm not sure if bakhona abashumayeli or anyone who has to hear this. As we were driving, I noticed the beautiful hand of God. Indalo kaThixo iziveza, izibonakalisa isandla sakhe, sizibonakalisa kwindalo. Kusebusika, and so the land is terribly dry. Ingca yomile, imilambo itshile, impahla ibuyela kwisimo sakulonyaka ophelileyo okanye kwiminyaka engaphambili. You'd swear into bangabana sibuyela kwi-drought because it's winter season, of course, and so the land is dry and the grass is brown, almost white, and so akukho sichumiso esinakalayo, right? And so as the snow was falling, we were complaining about cold, but as I was driving down, I looked up in the sky and I discovered the sun appearing above the skies, and so lisenza liveza light emphakathi kwamafu, and kunengqele ewisa ikhepu, and then kwafika kumingqondweni lanto ethi ke linene elithi ngapha kwamafu likhon'ilanga, ngapha kwalamafu likhon'ilanga. And so as I drive with Tata Phaliso, complaining about cold, complaining about the wet road, complaining that sizogula, and of course coronavirus isekhona, and ayikafumaneki vaccine, and the coronavirus iyadloba engqeleni and stuff like that. But the appearance of the sun through the skies and through the dark clouds gave us a hope, and a new hope that there is something that we need to look forward to, meaning that we need to look forward to the complete appearance of the sun. And as the sun appears, now here's what's happening. As ilanga liya livela, ikhepu liya lincipha, the snowflakes, okay, zincipha weight yazo. You could see that it was heavy snow, but as the sun was appearing through the sky, and then the flakes were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. As they were getting smaller, I take this away, that the beautiful hand of God that brings about a terrible cold is the same beautiful hand of God that brings about the beauty of the sun appearing through the clouds to melt the snow. And so as the sun appears through the cloud to melt the snow, and then it completely transforms a situation whereby umhlaba womile, umhlaba unxaniwe, impahla ikwazi ukutya ingca eluhlaza, but snow therefore gets transformed into becoming amanzi azawunkcenkceshela ingca eyomileyo, ize ingca eyomileyo itransformeke okanye itshintshe ibe yingca eluhlaza, ize ithi into exhomekeke ezityalweni ezisemhlabeni iphile. So we have a choice to complain about the cold of the snow. We have a choice to complain about how terrible the weather is, and the temperature conditions are below zero and stuff like that. But the silver lining in it, that in that cold weather, in that snowy season, there is hope that when the snow passes by, then the grass will be greener because it will be wet again. Then those who have the seed underneath the ground, then they will be getting water because of the amanzi anqabile. And so through the dark clouds and through the snowy season, when Jehovah Bel Parazim, uThixo Chobozayo, appears through the skies, then we need to hope again. And so I want to say to you, I don't know who's listening to this, but I wish to say this to you, that tears may come in the evening, but joy will come in the morning. The snow may fall now, but when the cold season passes by, it will leave a wet land that will then give umhlaba, that will quench the thirst of umhlaba. Uthi umhlaba ubunxaniwe, umhlaba ugaspa ufuna amanzi. Isnow ebesisiwa sijike sibe ngamanzi azawutransform umhlaba, uphilisa umhlaba. Ilanga elizawuvela through the dark clouds liphinde lifike linyibilikise ntoni, linyibilikise umhlaba. And so I want to say to you now, if you are experiencing a cold season by whichever means empilweni yakho, if you are experiencing a snowy season by whichever means empilweni yakho, it can be coronavirus, it can be sickness, it can be unemployment, it can be anything that brings you tears, that brings you terrible cold, that brings you down to your knees, uzive ungakwazi ukwenzando, that brings you unxano, that umphefumulo wakho is gasping for the Holy Spirit, kanye is gasping for God to quench the thirst esempilweni yakho, ubukraka bomphefumulo wakho and stuff like that, obenziwa sisnow, meaning that the terrible conditions empilweni yakho, ilanga elingapha kwamafu likhona kwaye lizawuvela. And I want to say to you, I've learned this morning through the skies and through the snow and through the road I was traveling, that uThixo revealed isiqu sakhe nokulunga kwesandla sakhe kwindalo, right? And that ndihleli ndikhalaza, ndifuna ukulila oba bekuthanda ndivuke ngo5 am ekseni ndihambe indlela ende kangaka ndizokwenza umsebenzi wakhe. But uThixo wathi kum enhliziyweni yami, look up in the sky and see what I am capable of doing as impilweni zenu. And God says to me today that tell my people that the sun will rise again. Tell my people that in the midst of a snowy season empilweni yakho, tell my people that in the midst of the dry seasons empilweni yakho, there is a son of God, there is a son of God that will melt the snow and begin to give life to the land that we are standing in. And so do not despair, and so do not cry out loud, ulile njengomuntu ongenathemba. Do not cry as if God has never helped you. Lando ethi he has never failed me yet, but the season of winter, the snowy season empilweni yakho, God is just about to transform it, ngoba ngapha kwamafu likhona ilanga. And so good manditsho ke kuwe namhlanje as I stop here and prepare to get in this home and conduct a funeral once again. And remember this thing, friends, that we are in level 2 and the regulations are relaxed even more, and so we're given much more freedom to do whatever we wish. But remember this thing, COVID-19 is still around and there's no vaccine just yet. Keep safe, sanitize, keep your mask, and stay away from unnecessary traveling and stay away from crowded areas that will cause you or will expose you easily into infection of COVID-19. Yes, we are free now to do whatever we wish to do, but let us not be careless about our lives because ayikabikho i-vaccine empilweni zethu. We are still with very much chances of infection without any vaccine or any medication. Keep safe, sanitize, keep your mask, and stay home as far possible as you can. Make necessary trips and go to where it is necessary for you to go. Keep the regulations. Funerals are 50 people, and don't expose yourself in any of that which will put your life into risk. I just wanted to tell you this morning that it was my experience. It was my experience in seeing the revelation of God that in as much as I was driving through the snow, but God said, look up in the sky and see the sun. And I saw uThixo ochobozayo, ilanga lakhe lichoboza ngapha kwamafu asinisela iliqhwa elisigodolisa ngendlela engumangaliso. But uThixo wathi namhlanje elilanga livelileyo ngapha kwalamafu, xelela abantu bami ngokuba lisisiqinisekiso loba lizawunyibilikisa ikhephu eliwa empilweni yenu namhlanje. Xa kusisa ngomso ingca izawujika ibe lihlaza because ikhephu eliwileyo lizawutshiswa lilanga likaThixo lijike libe ngamanzi azakondla umhlaba. And so continue living and continue planting a seed of your growth, continue planting a seed that will transform your life, continue planning about your life so that beyond COVID-19 you may emerge even stronger. I posted a few days ago that I'm tired of living in fear of COVID-19, but I'm determined in making my life a better life tomorrow and that of my kids. And so when i-COVID-19 idlula ayifanelanga idlule nisami kulandawo uThixo wayengiqalise kuyo nayo, but when i-COVID-19 idlula funeka idlule ubomi bam bungcono kunoba beqalile. In the business of the church uThixo wayimisa inkonzo wenza into masingangena ezinkonzweni. I needed not to stop in developing my personal life in by whatever means uThixo andinike kona. And so ngelixesha uThixo sinike break ecaweni, uThixo sinike ingqondo into bangabana umuntu develop ubomi bakhe, so that xa sebuyela kwi-business of the church, when there's no more pledge to pay any minister, when there's no more honor, when there's no more planned giving that feeds us, because the truth of the matter is that we are fed from your money because we are not working anywhere else. But when we have stopped giving beyond COVID-19, and then uThixo says to me, I have plans for you, not to destroy you, but to make you prosper. And so the plan of God is not to destroy us through coronavirus. And the plan of God is not to destroy us through the snow, through the rainy season, and through the cold season. The plan of God is for us to learn that through the snowy season, the sun will rise again. And so when the sun rises again, it will melt the snow. And when it melts the snow, and then it will transform your life into becoming a better life. Keep moving, keep planning, keep developing yourself, keep studying, keep making money if you are in business, keep buying more livestock if you are in livestock business, and keep doing things that after coronavirus, when there's no more work, when there's no more jobs, when there's no more country, we cannot cry about the country that is falling now, because uThixo wants us to buy land, meaning that God wants us to remain faithful in whichever corners that we are in. When the politicians are becoming corrupt, let us then develop ourselves in other spheres, so that when there's no more country to live for, that there will still be a home, there will still be a life in Puluniako, and you will live happily ever after and say, kanti lendawo uyoyikeka kanti uThixo ukhona. Bensoyika ndihamba ekhephini, bensoyika ndihamba kwiliqhwa, bensoyika ndibona imvula engathi ngatyibilikisa imoto efaka esindongeni ndisihla kumageduka namaxethuka. but eyona nto uThixo andenzele nto endisoyika ndinjalo wandivezela ilanga phakathi kwamafu wathi uThixo tell my people that this sun that protrudes through the dark clouds will transform the land, and umhlaba onxaniweyo uzawujika iliqhwa okanye isnow ulenza amanzi azawunkcenkceshela umhlaba, that noba khange kunethe mvula kodwa ikhephu eliwe phezu komhlaba lizawuba ngamanzi azawuphilisa umhlaba. And so your experience, your tough experience, your tears and your cries, your tears will wet the soil and the ground that we are standing on, so much that after your tears uThixo azikhongozele inyembezi zakho ankcenkceshele ngawo umhlaba omi kuwo, ze kuthi usaqala ujonga ngasemva ukhale kodwa uxelele izihlobo zakhe into bangabana I lost parents with COVID-19, I lost friends with COVID-19, I lost my siblings with COVID-19, but uThixo lamanxeba endinawo, ezi scars endinawo, they are the evidence of inceba kaThixo ethe uSatan ezimisele ukusigqiba sonke, kodwa uThixo wandisalisela intoba sendizongqina amandla akhe, ndithi unamandla uYesu de wasindisa kunye nam. Nabantu abacinga babagqibile ngobomi bakho, let me tell you something, the snow in your life will be transformed. Nabantu abacinga baya kulahla, let me tell you something, baya kuweza bakulahli. Nabantu abacinga baya kungcwaba, let me tell you something, baya kutyala bakungcwabi. And so ikhephu eliwa phezu kwento engathi lingcwaba lakho lizawuthi xa uvumbuluke as a mustard seed, and you will rise higher and higher and higher. Xa bethi kuzenza bhetele uzibaxelela into bangabana no, the dry season that was in my life, the snowy season that was in my life, it was the hand of God, and zenzanga bhetere uThixo ndenza bhetele. So I want to say that to you today, I wished I could share this experience as it is still fresh in my mind, as I'm still driving through the snow even now, and as I continue to feel terribly cold because kuyabanda ndinxibe ijasi, zawufaka ikhasoko ndifake le jasi ngaphezulu ndinxibe umnqwazi, awushumayela ndinxibe umnqwazi namhlanje because kuyabanda. But God says to me and says to you, the snow empilweni yakho and the terrible cold empilweni yakho, look up in the sky and see the hand of God. Khona ingoma sasiyicula kudala kwi-SM esikoleni ayisithi, when I look around the world, when I look deep down in the sea, I saw a fish swimming there. When I looked deep down in the forest, I heard a bird singing there. When I looked up in the sky, I saw the stars shining there. Then when I looked around in the world, I saw the beautiful hand of God. And all of that told me that God, He is alive. And I'm saying to you, this that is around you, count your blessings and see what the Lord has done, because all that is around you, including the snowy season, including the rainy season, including the dry season, but in the midst of the snow, the sun that protrudes through the skies, through the dark clouds, uThixo chobozayo, Jehovah Belparazim, uJehova ufohlayo, He will transform the snowy season into becoming a water that will then wet the land, and eventually the seed that is underground, the soil, will then protrude and sprout into becoming a seed that will feed you, that will give you life, that will give you happiness, that will give you joy, that will wipe away your tears. Ukwenza into uThixo athi ngenxa yokusala kwakho akwenza into bangabana ube ngamandla obungqina bempilo yakho. Mawasaneleke lamazwi, keep safe, sanitize, stay away from crowded places, stop unnecessary traveling. Remember this thing, there's no vaccine for COVID-19, but stop living in fear, live faithfully, and know that uThixo usekunye nawe beyond COVID-19 and beyond all the lockdown. Emerge even stronger. Fear shall not consume us, but faith and joy in Jesus shall transform our lives. Thixo makanisikelele, Thixo makanitamsanqelise ngoYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Amen. Ndiyama notata uphaliso kapha lixhego lam likosa lapha esosayithini kababulise tata uphaliso.
Ndiyabulisa ngegama kaYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Siyambulela uThixo sigcinile sizothi siyofika nalapha eMhlanga kundawo eQobethu. Sithe nxa sizapha sabona ikhephu, sabona noko nomhlaba emuneneni. uThixo uzasindisa ngoYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. I'm blessed with elderly people. ngamaxhego lana ndithandazelayo, ngamaxhego andicebisayo, ngamaxhego andinqandayo xa ndibhatyaza. Athi ke mfundisi le ndlela uhamba ngayo iyasibhida, buyumva uza kwenzakala. Ndiyakholwa ke ngabantu abadala enkonzweni. Keep praying for us, keep praying for all ministers, keep praying for your minister, and remember this thing that sinyathela phakathi kwameva. I've done 5 funerals this week, and 4 out of 5 funerals are COVID related, meaning that COVID-19 is still very much alive, and we walk in the midst of it. And so as ministers, we put our lives at risk, and we go back home to our children and spouses having been exposed into the coronavirus. Nalamaxhego endihamba nawo are exposed into coronavirus and everyone else. Pray for those who are the called of God, so that we remain faithful and we remain trusting God by umthemba ezimpilweni zethu. uThixo makanisikelele, uThixo makanithamsanqelise, uThixo ke makaninike inceba ngapha kwalamafu likhona ilanga, iliqhwa elisempilweni yakho. The sun that protrudes through the sky in the midst of the dark clouds will transform your snow and make it water ezawunkcenkceshela umhlaba wakho. Amen.